Why is it that some people just seem to be naturally brilliant at rhythm? Is rhythm natural, or is rhythm something that we can learn? In this video, I'm going to explore the idea of rhythm and how we can develop our internal sense of rhythm and develop consistency, control, and in turn musicality through building a stronger sense of rhythm. Now, my belief is that everyone has rhythm, and that rhythm is like a muscle, and it's a muscle that needs to be developed. We learn and develop the rhythm muscle the same way that we learn and develop different languages. We're working towards fluency with lots of different rhythms. In this video, I'm going to give you a handful of simple exercises to develop your internal sense of rhythm. Oh yeah, I'm Ruairi, by the way. Hi, and I'm a percussionist and composer currently based in London, though originally from Ireland. And I have some music tutorials and documentaries over on my YouTube channel if you'd like to check those out at some point. Though back to this video, and let's start by exploring what rhythm actually is. Rhythm is a sound or event that repeats regularly over time. And time is the important element in that definition, because music exists in time, unlike a book or a painting or a sculpture, which is timeless. It just stands or sits there. Music exists in time. There are so many words that we use interchangeably around rhythm, which can sometimes make it a little bit confusing. Let's first look at beat. At the heart of rhythm lies the beat, and beat is the foundation on which the rhythm is played on. A single beat that repeats at regular time intervals is called a pulse. And you can see that represented in these sound waves of a clock ticking, which repeats evenly over time. Often the pulse is the part of the music you instinctively tap your foot to. And this is the crucial ingredient we need to develop our perception of in order to improve our sense of rhythm. Now, there's an incredibly helpful tool that you can use to develop your sense of pulse called a metronome. A metronome is a device that produces an audible click at regular time intervals, which can be slowed down and sped up by you, the person using it. Speed on the metronome is measured by the number of beats in a minute, which we shorten to BPM. A clock has 60 beats in a minute at 1 second intervals. So we can set a metronome at 1 second intervals, which would be 60 BPM. If we have 2 equal beats per second, that would be 120 BPM. 120 beats in 1 minute. 2 beats on each second. And you can quickly move between different BPM using a metronome without doing lots of boring mathematics. And I'm personally not very good at maths, so that is helpful for me. Nowadays, metronomes are mostly digital, and there are great apps for phones and devices to download. And even metronomes you can access through the web browser you're watching this video on right now. I've linked all of these below in the description box in the case you want to download those. And whilst you're down there, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. A metronome is the best way to identify a solid, fixed pulse from which to practice with and to build rhythms on. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I like to think about rhythm like language. And when we apply the principles of language to building rhythms, we can develop a much deeper understanding of how different rhythms work and how rhythms are actually built. Of course, language is the means through which we communicate using a voice, using words. Those words can be broken down into syllables. And when we apply those syllables to a pulse, a musical pulse on the metronome, we create a rhythm. Let's start with words made up of 2 syllables, like coffee, London, happy, and so on. They all have 2 beats. So by linking the number of syllables to the number of beats, we are tapping into a whole language of different rhythmic possibilities. Let's take the word coffee to start with, not least because I like drinking coffee, but with 2 hard syllables, coffee. And we're going to apply coffee to a pulse, which we're going to set up on the metronome. And let's start with 70 BPM to start with. That's our pulse. We're saying the word coffee with this pulse, this click on the metronome. Coffee, 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 coffee. So we've applied the word to the pulse first. That's the first part of this exercise. Next, we're going to clap the syllables of coffee with the pulse. We're going to get that pulse going. Coffee, coffee. We're going to add clapping. Coffee, 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 coffee. So we're saying and playing the syllables and beats together at the same time. Next up, we're going to just play coffee. We're going to say it in our head. So play, don't say. Now, when we are thinking the words and playing the beats, this is where the magic happens. This is the internal sense of rhythm that we want to tap into whilst we are practicing. Now, of course, you can take 3-syllable words, galloping, 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 galloping. 4 syllables, Piccadilly, 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 Piccadilly. 5 syllables, hippopotamus, 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 and so on. Of course, you can make combinations, different words. The next stage, once you've vocalized the rhythms, practice playing them on your instrument. So here's an exercise. On your instrument, pick a note or chord or just clap with me. We're going to do this exercise together. Make sure to follow this order. First, just say the words with the click. Second, say and play, unless of course you're singing or you're playing a wind instrument. Skip straight to stage 3, which is play the rhythm, don't say it, though keep saying the words in your head, okay? So, 70 BPM, we'll say Piccadilly, 4 syllables, yeah? Piccadilly, 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 Piccadilly. So we're just saying it first, that's the first stage. Second stage, playing and saying. Second stage is playing and saying. Piccadilly, 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 Piccadilly. That's our second stage. Moving on to the third, which is just playing, no saying. Now, the idea of saying the words internally in your head is crucial. This is where we start to develop our internal sense of rhythm. This is what we want, and this is what makes us in turn rhythmical or good at rhythm. This is the internal clock that all great musicians carry around and use in their performances. Ask any musician about the importance of internal pulse and internalizing rhythm and see what they say to you. Now, the scientific word for this action, this thing of vocalizing the rhythms in our head, is called audiation. This is the musical equivalent of thinking in language. For example, like when we're having a conversation with someone, we must retain the vocal sounds of that person long enough to recognize and give meaning to the words that they are saying. Now, continuing with this idea of rhythm being like a language, different accents within different languages have different cadence points. And as you can imagine, different languages have entirely different cadences, as in different timing or flow. It's actually pretty fascinating to see how this is reflected in different music from different places. That kind of feels like an entirely different topic for another day. Though if you're interested in language and music, I would encourage you to check out my documentary, Hidden Drummers of India. In part 1, I meet an incredible percussion guru called Gatan Girita Udupa, who taught me about the Carnatic music system, where the language of conical is what's used to teach and to share and express rhythm. Now though, going back to cadence and why that's important for rhythm, and what we're doing today, which is working on our internal sense of rhythm, there's one common cadence across all accents and all languages, and that is the pattern with which we are taught to count numbers. Now, you know how to count and you are fluent in your own language, so by counting over the beats as you play out loud, over time, you will start to develop your own internal metronome, or internal sense of pulse, which we spoke about earlier. Now let's take a 4-beat rhythm. Tea, coffee, Piccadilly, tea. Tea, coffee, Piccadilly, tea. We're going to play that rhythm, we're going to get comfortable with it. I encourage you to try this at home as well. Tea, coffee, Piccadilly, tea. If you're struggling with that rhythm, don't forget the 3 steps. Say it first. Tea, coffee, Piccadilly, tea. Then same play. Coffee, Piccadilly, tea. Then just play. course, thinking about those words, thinking about those rhythms whilst you're doing it. Then we're going to apply this idea of counting out loud, the 4 beats. Of course, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 beats in this pattern. I'm going to play the pattern and I'm going to count out loud as I'm playing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So counting out loud whilst I play it. Of course, we can practice that with our metronome, practicing it with the pulse. 2, 3. So that was our rhythm. Now I'm going to count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. Now, applying the principle of counting out loud is simple for simple rhythms, though much more difficult for complex and complicated rhythm patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When players and singers, you're probably thinking, what about me? How do I do this? This exercise is going to be a little more abstract for you, though I think still worth working on. And I recommend using a Metronome app that comes with the option for a vocalized count. I use MetroTimer for iPhone, which I find really helpful. Pop this to an amp or speaker, and it's a really effective tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Synchronized movement is another really important element in developing your internal sense of rhythm. Playing a musical instrument, after all, is just a series of controlled movements and actions. This next exercise helps us to coordinate how we move and how we move rhythmically. Whilst the common cadence for language is counting numbers, you could say the common cadence for movement would be walking. It's probably why many people tap their foot while listening to music or playing music, or indeed trying to find the pulse in a piece of music. So I want you to try this exercise with me. We're going to take a 4-beat pattern that we're going to mark out using our body, using body percussion. So the first beat, we're going to do stomp, stomp. Second beat, we're going to do knee, knee, just going to tap our knees. Third, we're going to tap our chest, chest, chest. And then the fourth, we're just going to do a clap. So all together it goes stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Now, we're going to get that going with a pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We're going to get that going with a pulse on a regular click. We're going to set the metronome to 70 BPM to start with, nice and steady. So, goes stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. So get comfortable with that pattern first. If you need to pause the video, get that pattern really flowing, get it really smooth. We're gonna get things going a little bit more tricky now, okay? So, stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Next time, no clap. No clap there. Imagine it. You can say clap in your head. Next time, no chest. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee. Next time, no knee. Stomp, stomp. Next time, no stomp. We're saying it in our head. Visualizing it. So you can come back in with the clap even. Next time, chest, chest. Chest, chest, clap. Next time, stomp, stomp. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Stomp, stomp, knee. And then all together, stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Stomp, stomp, knee, knee, chest, chest, clap. Now that was a pretty simple example, but you can try different combinations of actions, like maybe click, clap, knee, knee, stomp, stomp. Click, clap, knee, knee, stomp, stomp, adding and subtracting the different actions to the click. Start slow and build up speed. And remember, you're building that audiation where you're visualizing, saying patterns in your head. This is where we really start to tap into our internal sense of rhythm. By practicing these exercises, you are developing your coordination and control, which are both crucial for playing rhythmically and in time. Now, identifying the pulse, vocalizing rhythms, counting out loud as you practice, and synchronizing cognitive movement. They're all very well, though rhythm will only come with practice, regular and consistent practice. Think of it like brain training. It takes time to ingrain different rhythms. I hope that this video has been interesting or maybe even helpful, and don't hesitate to ask me any questions or share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you like this video, you can hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more music related content in the future. And until then, everybody take care, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.